What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Reptiles. In today's episode, we're going to be assembling one of my custom Animal Plastics 60 bin V18 economy racks. Getting ready for these babies that I should be expecting here within a month or two, which I'm super stoked about, but I want to get one of these racks assembled, especially since I have the day off. So that's what we're going to do, and I know that at least one person has ordered one of my what I call my custom racks from Animal Plastics. He called in and asked for what I ordered. He gave him my name and ordered a duplicate of what I order because Animal Plastics is able to make these custom racks. You know, they like my V70 racks here. Their standard racks are routed for 3-inch heat tape. I have mine custom routed for 4-inch heat tape. My V18 racks that I ordered, they don't offer a 60 bin V18 rack, but somehow in miscommunication, that's what they quoted me a price for. And I questioned them, and they're like, "Oh, we didn't realize you meant that you wanted the rack on that's listed on the website, because I didn't realize they could go this big." But then once I found out that they could, that's what I ended up ordering. So they gave me a price on a custom rack that I didn't really have an intention on buying, but it is ultimately what I got. And so we're going to throw one of these baby racks together. I'm not going to throw the other rack or the other V70 rack that I ordered together today because hopefully Kristen and I can find a house before I need them. But if not, I have them here and I can always throw them together whenever the need arises. So with that, let's get started because it will take a little bit of time. Last time I did one of these, I put it together with just a screwdriver because, you know, these are PVC racks. You know, it's not hard to strip them out. But for Christmas, my grandfather got me this thing, which is pretty cool because it's an interesting screwdriver. You know, if you turn it one way, it will spin the bit, and then when you rotate back, it spins it the same direction. So there's no loss of motion, which should make it really efficient. And if that doesn't work, then I'll switch to power tools and I'll just turn them way down so that I don't strip the rack out and strip the screw holes out. So with that, we're going to get started and we're going to throw this together because I have a couple more things that I want to get done today. And I hope you all enjoy. Alright guys, so when you get your Animal Plastics rack, what you're going to get with the package is a set of directions. It gives you step-by-step on how to put these racks together. Last time I kind of followed these and kind of didn't. And the rack got together correctly, but in a little bit different order than what they say, which it turned out fine. In the end, you're supposed to put the heat tape in while the rack is laying down, but I don't have heat tape with me today, so I'll be putting the heat tape in while this rack is standing up, which shouldn't be too difficult considering the rack is fairly shallow because it's for V18s. So with that, I'm going to get started here. I'm going to time-lapse our way through this video because it would probably at least be an hour-long video if I played it real time and through the entire thing. So I hope this video helps some of you guys. I know at least one person requested this video because he is getting an Animal Plastics economy rack like what I use here, which is actually one of my custom racks, as I call them. So I know that he's looking forward to this video, and I hope that this helps some of you other keepers as you buy and want to assemble these racks. So stick with us and we're going to get started. I'm going to turn some music on and I hope you all enjoy. So as you guys can tell, it's a little bit difficult getting the first shelf put in, but once you get that, everything starts to go way smoother as this rack begins to get some rigidity here along the support. It's a little bit tipsy-turny, so if you have a second set of hands, it'll make that first shelf go way quicker for you. As you can see, I put the second shelf in 2 shelves down from that first one. That way it gave me a little bit of something for it to balance on before I move to the ends. They want you to do the ends after you do one of the middle shelves, but being that I'm by myself putting this together, that makes it a little bit more difficult. So I found putting a second middle shelf in gives this support something to kind of balance on, and that way the whole thing doesn't rock on you. So then I put the bottom and the very top shelf on. That way the whole thing is supported, and then we can just start plugging and playing with these other shelves and with these other strips along the side. So far, I really like this. It's basically just a ratcheting screwdriver, which is making things way easier on me compared to using a standard screwdriver. So with that, we're going to keep pushing forward with this, and it should be done here shortly, I hope. Alright guys, so all of the shelves are in this beast. It is actually pretty impressive how big this thing is now that I'm starting to get it together here. But I have all the shelves in now. I'm going to put this next side strip on here, and then I'll put the back couple strips in, and then I'll have to roll it to get the other side in. So the hard part, I believe, is done. The shelves are always seem to be the most awkward, but now that they're in, we can move on and move forward and continue on with building this thing. Alright guys, so a little Midway update. I got both of these left side pieces put on. What I'm going to do now is rotate the rack 180 degrees to get the right side pieces put on. I want to make sure that everything stays square as I build this. Obviously want it to turn out the best that it can. So I have to rotate this thing. It's pretty heavy already. So hopefully this goes smoothly and nothing bad happens. Alright guys, so we are on the home stretch. I have the right sides now put in. All I have to do is put the left side, center, and right side back pieces in, put the casters on, and put the toe kick in, and then this thing is done. And as far as the rack itself, all I have to do is install the heat tape then at a later date, but I will bring a little bit of a video to explain how I do that. So let's get this thing done. I'm running out of storage shooting this long video, but thankfully you guys don't have to deal with it in its entirety. because I will cut and edit and fast forward through a lot of this, but it is a beast. I mean, it's now 4:22, so it's taken us at least 2 hours to get to this point. There's a lot of screws, there's a lot of shelves. So far, I like this thing. It gives me a lot of control compared to power tools, and it keeps me from stripping things out. And it's a big wrist saver because I don't have to pull the screwdriver out every time I need to make a turn. It just ratchets itself. So we'll be back in a little bit. Guys, so there is like 10 screws left to go, and then this thing is done. I already have the casters on and the toe kick on, so as soon as I get these 10 screws in, it's time to stand it up. So it is up. The baby beast is up. I mean, I'm 6'3", and this rack is at least 7 feet tall. You can see it there next to my V70. I mean, it's just huge. I mean, that rack is just ginormous. I mean, I can reach the top shelf, but I certainly cannot see what's in the top shelf, so I'll have to get a stepladder to get to those. But I mean, I had a pretty good idea that it was going to be this tall, but there it is. That'll hold 60 V18s. I guess I can also fit V15s in this, but again, they're smaller, so I'll be able to fit more V15s if I ever need or want to. One last thing that I didn't do yet is take all these stupid stickers off, so give me 1 second and we'll get those off. Okay guys, stickers are now off of the baby beast. Again, you're just able to see exactly how big this thing is, and this is completely unnecessary for those of you who just want to have a couple skinks, but for me, as I am moving forward and becoming as serious of a breeder as you can possibly be, I need the space and will need the space for the years to come. So what I'm going to do now is just give you a couple of my thoughts on this rack. Right off the bat, I love it, just like my V70 rack that I have already. So again, this rack is not listed on their website. This is a rack that I custom ordered. It is a 60 bin V18 economy rack routed for 3-inch heat tape. Now when I say routed, the animal plastics racks are recessed. So right in here you're able to see this recess, and it actually has two lips that the edges of the heat tape tuck under. So what that does is it actually creates a hot air pocket versus the bin sitting directly on the heat tape, which I like. It helps save the wear on the heat tape a little bit. So when you get these racks, they're all in pieces. You know, you have your sides and your back pieces and all of these shelves. So they give you instructions on how to put it together. You know, you can follow them or not. In my case, I do very bad at following instructions a lot of times when it comes to written things. So being that I put the V70 rack, the rack that I have right there, together, the first time I had a pretty good idea of what this needed to turn out like and what it should look like in the end. So basically what happens is you start with the middle piece, put one of these side pieces on, and then just start adding all the shelves. Now this rack in particular is extremely heavy, so rotating it like I had to do to get to all the shelves is difficult at times, especially like it would be far easier if this was sitting on the front face, which I'll have to remember, and I should have remembered from the last one. But if it sits on the face, you're able to get to all the screws at once. I assembled this in this little area right here, so I didn't have much room to work with, which made it take a little bit longer than it probably should have, but we did get it done. So again, I love these animal plastics racks. You know, this V70 works excellent for me, and I expect this rack to work just as good. I don't have the heat tape in it yet, but will, and I still have to get my bins in. So I'll bring you guys another video and show you all of that. The way these animal plastics racks work is in my V70 bin here, or in my V70 rack, you're able to see this air gap that goes the whole length of this tub. It's about 1/4 inch. So these tubs racks wouldn't exactly be great for smaller snakes, like if you were trying to put corn snakes or king snakes or something in them because of that gap. But for these skinks, it works perfect. You don't have to worry about drilling your expensive Vision tubs or anything like that, and you don't have to, especially for me in PA here where we have pretty cold weather, I don't have to worry about heat loss so much. So other than that, construction was pretty easy. All of these holes in these sides and back brace pieces are pre-drilled and countersunk, so you just have to screw into the shelf itself, which makes it pretty easy. You know, you don't get any screws walking and coming through the shelves crooked or anything like that. I didn't have any of that at all. So again, I recommend these racks to everybody. They are a little bit sharp, so you will cut yourself a little bit on them. Nothing bad, just like little paper cuts here and there on some of the sharper edges. But again, I would definitely recommend these racks to anyone and everyone. And again, I have another one of these things to put together and another one of these V70 racks to put together, but I don't need them together right now, so they aren't going to be put together. So I hope this helped everyone. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I will definitely be putting a video together, a short one of how I snake the heat tape through this and how the V18 tubs fit. So again, hope this helped, and I hope you all enjoyed. So one additional note that I wanted to add is the price of this rack. This rack cost me $600. It cost me $26 for casters, and then it costs roughly, I want to say $80 to get it shipped to me. Freight. Now it will be a little bit more expensive if you just buy one of these by itself and have to get it sent through standard shipping, but being that I bought 3, they were able to ship freight, which came out to like $240 for all 3 racks. Slightly under, but for all intensive purposes, $240. So it's costing me roughly $12 a slot in here. Now I'll have this forever, and that's something that I can definitely take advantage of. Another thing, you definitely want to buy your racks with casters. It might not seem like a big deal, but on carpet it makes a huge difference, and on tile or anything like that, these racks will be way easier for you guys to move. So I would definitely get casters. It adds a tiny bit of height, and it costs $26 to get them, but it is well worth the investment to get them. If you don't have them, don't plan on moving it from where you put it together, or you'll need a couple people to move it anyway. Move it safely and without risk of it tipping over or something like that. So that's just one thing that I wanted to add, and I'm just super stoked about this, guys, and I cannot wait to fill it.